All right. Thank you, everyone, for sticking around, who stuck around and joining us here today for the penultimate session of Autumn Cruise run through Waterdeep Dragon Heist. This is week 11. Hard to believe. I am your Dungeon Master, Dan Gaston, at MadSideDM on Twitter, and I am here with the usual full complement of the Autumn crew tonight. Yes. Excellent. As much as we love all of our guest players, it is great to have our full crew here tonight, especially as we are approaching the end. So, enough about me. Let's say hello to everyone and see how everyone is doing this week. Cindy, welcome back. How are you doing?
Thanks. Well, report cards are due tomorrow, and everything's been happening this week, so I came prepared tonight. So I just hold on. I was like, there. Right. I'm ready. Let's go.
Excellent.
Let's do
this.
Excellent. Cindy, I can absolutely tell that you are a teacher. You have that teacher sense of humor. Thank you very much for joining us, because
we're done. We're done.
Yeah, you're already all off. All right, let's kick it over to our traveler, Jeff. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. I am Jeff Hay, Atomic Straw on Twitter, in Wisconsin today. But I'm ready to see what trouble Thaddeus can get into.
Excellent. Well, make sure you bring us all back some cheese.
Of course.
Yeah, you can tell I have a terrible sense of humor. Anyway, Ryan, how are you doing today?
Well, I'm doing pretty good. As long as the internet holds out, all will be well. And definitely looking forward to it.
Knock on wood. We hope everything holds out. Yes. Matt, welcome back again.
Hey, I'm glad to be back. Streaming from North Alabama this time instead of Tuscaloosa, but I'm here. So
excellent. Well, good to have you back, and of course, Knox.
Hi. I'm so nervous when you guys. I have so much anxiety about our game. I can't.
Had so many
good.
Feelings.
It's good anxiety. I can't believe that we're almost. Sorry, I'm stupidly putting dice back in a bag while my mic is on. Yeah, I can't believe our game is almost done. I'm like, it's too soon. I want some more. But yeah, I'm really excited to continue reprising my role as Dahlia, the Eladrin Bard, blessed of Korra, whatever.
Coralon. Who cares? It's just elven main deity. Yeah. Like, who cares?
Badass fucking elf person.
Yeah. All right. Well, so last week we our players through let's call it a little Deus Ex Machina, as they got their hands on the location of where they needed to go to find the Stone of Golorr that they thought had been absconded with by the Xanathar's guild, although apparently they just had a fake. Nevertheless, they got the information. They found what they thought was deserted tower that they quickly discovered appeared to have some sort of anti-magic field operating inside, as they had nothing but their wits and blades about them when they ran into some drow, who then took the stone and jumped out of the tower, except for their old buddy Soliston. We won't utter what name he's been being called in our Discord chat all week, because, while I swear a lot on the channel and we're not always PG, it's a little much.
He's a real deep face.
Although it may have just showed up in chat. And I allowed it, although the filter caught it.
Dessert face?
Yeah, dessert face. Exactly.
Dessert face. That's
Great
it.
big old dessert face.
Yeah.
Nom nom nom.
All right, we won't go there. But their old buddy Soliston, the murderous drow, and had a little bit of an altercation with Thaddeus and Doc before also fleeing out the window. But the more interesting things happened with Sorrel and Dahlia while they were on the rooftop, and Dahlia saw her old flame, who she knew by one name, but is known to others as Fel'rekt Lafine. And they had a very interesting and intense and dramatic rooftop moment with hair being blown by the wind and capes aflutter.
Animate swords being shot like a badass.
Fel'rekt just destroying an animated sword that was moving in on Dahlia, and agreed to meet with her on Mistshore tomorrow at dusk. And then we cut back to the tower and Soliston fleeing and Thaddeus sending an extra long longbow shot at the third drow, who was the first to flee, and hit him real good. And basically sort of left off with Soliston alighting on the rooftop near Dahlia, sort of past her a little bit because they were flying, and alighting on the rooftop, and appearing because he was invisible while he was between the tower and the rooftop, and sort of joining Fel'rekt as they ran off across the rooftop. So we will pick up with Dahlia on the roof, and everyone else, including the mysteriously sleepwalking-ish Styx and Emmeline, joining Thaddeus and Doc as they leave the tower. So, it is night. The wind is blowing, howling across the rooftops, leaves blurring into your face as the drow pelt off. And of course, you had to take the time to come down the tower, so by the time you get to ground level, they're not out of sight, but they've gone pretty far along the rooftops. And you see Dahlia standing on the edge. What do you do?
I'm going to grab Doc. What just happened? Because I have no idea what's going on.
Some shit went down.
How did we get here?
I'm glad you guys showed up when you guys did. God, we almost had him. And he got out of the tower, and we couldn't do anything because once you're in the tower, like, none of spells or anything worked. So
That's what these are for, baby.
Yes, that's why we needed you.
We needed you, boo.
But by the time we got down here, like, Dahlia, did you see anything?
So, Soliston has jumped out the window. He went invisible to you?
He was invisible between sort of the rooftop, and then by the time he alights on, from the tower, by the time he lands on the rooftop, he sort of reappears. But he's probably about, he sailed, 15, 20 feet past you onto the roof is where he alighted.
Fuck.
Where he landed.
Would I have seen him, you think?
Probably not until he appears. Like, you would have, in your current state of mind, you'd hear his booted feet sort of hit, and, if you glanced over, there'd be a shimmer as whatever magical effect he was under wears off.
As soon as I recognize that it's that guy, I want to get up and chase after. And when I'm within 10 feet of him, cast a spell.
Okay, go ahead.
So as I stand up, look over my shoulder at, my companions on the ground and yell at them, get him, and then spin around, chase after, and I'm going to raise one hand in the air, come down into a crouch, punch my fist into the top of the roof, and cast Earth Tremor, 2nd level.
Oh, someone's bringing down the roof.
Super hero landing.
Okay.
So he has to make, which he's probably going to make it because I'm sure it's his stat, but he has to make a dex save of 13.
Dex save 13.
I think
All
that's...
right. How much, out of curiosity, Earth Tremor, how much damage does it do and over what area of effect?
I will definitely tell you that. Oh, I rolled like garbage. Cool. So is it just 2d6? Because it's just 1d6 to start. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so it's 5 points of damage, bludgeoning damage. If he makes the save, it's still that. If he fails the save, he gets knocked prone.
You said 13?
13 is the dex save.
Okay. So he actually, surprisingly, just fails.
Yes!
So the rooftop, like, does this, right? Like, as if you took a blanket, right, and whipped it on the bed as the whole rooftop sort of buckles, throws him off his feet, and landing prone on the ground. And you hear a kind of ominous cracking and groaning from the roof, like, underneath you. And I'm going to have everyone roll initiative.
Holy. My fancy gold dice today. Which doesn't always
20.
roll super good.
Oh, wow, Doc.
Heck yeah.
Coming out swinging.
Sweet. 19.
Nice.
Nice.
15 for me.
2 for Dahlia.
8 for me.
For Thaddeus. Emmeline?
22. Bring it!
You're ready.
All right. And we got...
I had better spells.
Oh, I feel that was super cool, though. So, Emmeline, you're going to be the first to go, and you absolutely, as your monk-like self, with, let's say, an acrobatics check, can, like, two-step it pretty much up to that rooftop.
So where is he at the moment?
He's on the rooftop. From the edge of the roof, he would be another, 20 feet or so. As a monk, what are you at for movement? Are you at 40?
I'm at 40.
Yeah, you can totally get to him with your movement and still have your action, and he is prone.
Is he close to the edge of the roof?
No, he's like kind of in the middle.
Okay. I was gonna knock him off.
He's already like he's prone on his back. But depending on how things go, you might get him close to the other edge of the roof.
This worked really well with that half orc after it was already dead, so I'm going to get up to him and squeeze him with my thighs.
All right.
Oh wow!
So you, because he is prone and you're attacking with a melee attack, you have advantage on your attack rolls.
Get him!
Okay. I need to roll better than a. All right, with unarmed strike. All right, that's 23.
Absolutely.
Squeeze!
Go ahead and roll me some squeeze damage.
All right. Oh, that is a 10.
All right. Okay, and since you hit with an unarmed attack, you've got your bonus action, flurry blows, all that stuff you can use if you want.
Yeah, is his face up or down?
Which do you prefer?
Haha. All right, we'll say he's face down.
Okay.
So I'm like squeezing his neck with my thighs, and I just reach down and I'm like, noogie.
Emmeline really does fight like a little sister, doesn't she?
I'm having flashbacks.
Or a big sister, maybe. All right, go ahead, and again, you still have advantage on your attack roll because.
Okay. Yeah, that one's just a 15.
So 15 just misses.
It's not a very hard doogie. I'm just messing up his gelled hair.
Ruffling his hair.
Yeah.
Okay. So Doc, you're still on the ground. You, of course, it's going to take you a bit more effort to get to the roof.
I'm going to stay, kind of start walking. Well, first off, I'm going to cast Bless on Thaddeus, Styx, and can I see Dahlia?
If you're standing back from the rooftop, like you maybe see the top of her head or something, so sure.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to cast Bless on those three and just yell like, "Get him!" And then I'm just going to hoof it down the alley.
Okay.
Like in the direction they're going. So I'm going to stay on the ground.
Okay, and sort of like flank along the building.
Yeah. And so like if he does happen to go on the ground, I'll be ready.
Okay, perfect. I like it. Excellent. Styx, what about you, Mr. Second?
I am going to head straight up the stairs and try to get to the roof as quick as I can.
Well, you can go up the wall. You have a climb speed, right?
Actually, I have a fighter this time, so no.
Oh, right.
I wish.
Sorry. My bad.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm going to use the stairs.
All right, yeah, there's probably like a fire escape or something on one side of the building. All right, so yeah, it'll just take a little bit extra. You got to go like sort of go around and go up. It's a little less convenient. So if you dash, we'll say, then you get up to the roof.
Yeah, I'm going to do a dash.
Okay, perfect. Dahlia.
Who all can I see right now?
You can definitely see, hand wavy, you can see Sorrel, because they are still there. You can obviously see Emmeline and Soliston. Styx has just made it up to the roof. Everyone else you know is down below, so you don't see Thaddeus and Doc. And then, probably at this point, kind of in the distance, he's now like, a building or two away would be Fel'rekt. Probably a building away, and the other third drow, the first one to come out of the building, is past him.
Okay. I am going to look at Emmeline and Styx, and I can use this on myself too. Not that it really does any good, but whatever. And cast as a bonus action, Mantle of Inspiration.
Okay.
So let's see. Do my bookkeeping for that. And everybody gets, myself, Emmeline, and Styx get how many is it? 5 temporary hit points. And you can all immediately use your reaction to move using your speed.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do that. Get right up to Soliston. I had the movement anyways, but
yes, absolutely.
I'm gonna just kind of like help Emmeline hold him down.
Right.
And I'm gonna say to Emmeline, and kind of like shouting this out so Styx can hear as well. I'm just gonna say, don't kill him. Don't knock him out. Hold him here. And how long does this take to cast? Yeah, I'm gonna tell them, like, let's just hold him here, or get him off the roof, keep him restrained. I have some things I want to ask him, and then that's all that I'm gonna do.
Okay, all right. So Styx, if you want to use your reaction, you have to do so now to move, and that would get you to Soliston on the rooftop. Oh, you're muted.
Okay. All right. So I should be able to go ahead and try to grapple him.
No, it's not your turn yet, but
okay,
because she cast this, everyone right now on Dahlia's turn can spend their reaction that you normally have, right, for attack of opportunities and stuff, to move up to your movement.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be asking everyone if right now they want to move or not.
Yes, I'm going to move.
Okay. And then on the ground, Thaddeus, you could get sort of partway up the wall or something. Doc, you could move a little bit further along. Emmeline, I'm assuming, is not going to want to move.
Now, did this affect everybody or just 3 people?
Or maybe it was just the 3.
Yeah, just 3 people. So so I would have just
wishful thinking, but I was
yeah. That's why I asked who I could see.
Okay,
so.
yeah. So Styx, Styx is going to move. Okay, so that is good. It is Soliston's turn. He's not actually pinned or grappled yet, but I am going to.
I did say I wanted to hold him down to help Emmeline hold him down.
Yeah. Did you have it? Did you have an action?
I don't know. How do you do that?
was your mantle of inspiration? Was that a bonus action?
Yes.
Okay, so yes, you can use your action right now to make a strength athletics check against Soliston. With advantage because he is prone, and I'm considering like Emmeline sort of as an asset.
Yay, because that's gonna be a shit show.
Yeah, I'm sitting on him. I'm an asset, all right.
Ass hat.
So it's strength, right?
Yes.
13.
Okay. So he's like squirming around, and so you don't really get him. You don't officially get him grappled, but I'm still going to consider him because he's got like 3 people looming over him. That he's going to have to make a successful check on his turn to stand up from prone, in addition to just using his movement. And then, I mean, you're still going to have him surrounded and all kinds of stuff. So he's going to have to make a dex. And yeah, that's going to succeed because that's going to put him at a dirty 20. So he does manage to like push himself to his feet and sort of just wipes his mouth a little bit.
Where am I? Am I like hanging on to him with my legs
No,
now,
like,
or did I fall off?
Yeah. He sort of like, you didn't have him like grappled or pinned. It was sort of a lot of flavor. So he kind of like pushes you aside, and you're kind of like would be standing beside him basically. He pushes himself up.
So I do want to point out that the roof is currently difficult terrain.
Yes. Yeah. So it takes all of his movement to stand up because he takes half to stand, but then it's doubled because it's difficult terrain. So he can't do anything except stand up.
That wouldn't cause a opportunity attack, would it? Attack of opportunity.
No. He has to move out of.
He hasn't actually moved anywhere. Okay,
that's right. Mm-hmm. He's still within his like 5-foot space. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So. Yeah. So he does that. He sort of like wipes his mouth. There's a little spot of blood there, and he gives a bit of a scornful laugh. Nice trick. Maybe not enough, as he's like pulling out his pistol and blade. And he's going to use the blade because the pistol would be... Yeah, actually pulls out the blade because the pistol would be foolish. At point blank range.
Yeah.
And he's going to attack Dahlia because spells. And he's going to miss on the first and hit on the second because that's a 23 for 7 points of piercing damage.
Fuck you.
And then it's Thaddeus's turn.
I spit at him.
I presume by now I have a idea what direction they're trying to run on the rooftops because I shot at the other one.
Oh yeah, I mean they're
yeah.
And up on the rooftop, quick.
Assuming my friends are, totally capable of handling this, I'm going to try going around the building to where I can see where he'd be going to another building and just ready a shot if I see him try to leap off the roof.
So the other two drow, so I mean Soliston, yes. The other two drow are already like,
Yeah, I'm looking for Soliston.
Okay. Yeah, you can totally get out into yes, you can get into a bit of the alley and do it. Too much further and you have to go out into one of the streets, and that might not be so.
That might not be such a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so yeah, you can do that, and you're going to hold your action readying it for that. Perfect. Sounds good. Emmeline.
Okay, so he's still right in front of me?
He is, yep.
Okay.
Restrain him.
Yeah, I know.
If you don't, I'm coming in with a flying tackle here. Real soon.
Well, that's kind of what I was thinking, was the flying tackle. All right, so I'll just do the kicking with both feet, kind of just jump up and.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, drop kick.
So trying to knock him over with both feet. I hit him midsection or so. Okay, I don't have advantage, do I?
No, because he's standing now.
Well, that one's not gonna do it, is it?
It is not. And in fact, because
Sorry.
you jump up and go to sort of kick him with both feet, the rooftop is quite unstable, and you fall and land prone on the rooftop, and there's a cracking sound, and I need Dahlia and Styx and Soliston.
I broke the roof?
Well, it was already broken. You broke it a little more.
Dahlia
I need you guys to make dex saves.
Emmeline's not that fat.
Don't forget our bless too, yo.
Yeah. So I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
I got a 16.
Okay.
I got a 19.
Okay. So everyone is still on their feet, with the exception of Emily. And the rooftop ominously creaks and groans. Doc.
Okay. Yeah. Remembering back to when we fought the Nimble Right, I'm actually gonna use thaumaturgy and just start yelling out guards, seize them, and just booming through the dock ward.
Okay. All right. So just yelling out, seize them, booming out from where you are.
Yeah, I know their presence isn't as strong, but I don't know. Maybe they'll intercept the ones that are running away.
Right. Okay.
And then I'm still on the ground. I guess I'll try to move closer to where the action is on the ground.
Okay.
But
yeah, you're sort of circling around the building.
Right. Yeah. Just kind
of around.
Yeah, because I mean, I have no idea where the other two have gone. He's our main point right now.
Yeah.
And no one's around me either, right?
That's
Thaddeus,
right.
You're up on the roof, and everyone else is rooftop.
Well, Thaddeus is probably Thaddeus is kind of like you. He's finding a position, moving around a little bit to stay in position on the building, so you could probably see him. Yeah.
Okay. Well, never mind. That was my action. So, I'm good for now.
Okay.
So, just trying to draw attention or make it known.
All right. Okay. Sounds good. Styx.
I am going to come in with a Tavern Brawl strike, followed by my bonus action. I'm going to try to grapple him.
Okay.
All right. Here we go.
I was going to see if you were going to grapple him or push him.
I'm going to try to grapple.
Okay. Because he is probably about 10 feet away from the edge of the roof.
All right. 11. Okay. How about a dirty 20?
Okay. Okay.
That was for the tavern brawl strike.
Yep. So that beats his acrobatics because his acrobatics check was a 15.
Okay. All right, for damage for the tavern brawl strike.
Oh, okay, yeah, sorry, that's an attack roll. Sorry.
Yeah.
What was it again? Dirty 20. Yeah, that hits. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right, that gives it a 7 for the unarmored strike there.
Okay.
And now for the grapple.
So you're gonna make a strength athletics.
Oh. Yep. Strength athletics. How about a 14?
Yeah, he got a 10 on his acrobatics check. So, all right. So he is grappled. So grapple's like a it's like the hockey.
I've got a half Nelson on him, kind of.
Yeah, you basically got him by the shirt kind of thing. He can dance around in a square. Okay, perfect. So he is currently grappled. Dahlia.
I'm going to approach and I'm going to kind of shout out, hoping my companions that I can't see can also hear, and say, we need to restrain him. And I'm going to take out my fabric of many fashions.
Okay.
And I'm going to tie it around his wrists.
Okay.
And around his torso. And thing's pretty long. So loop around his wrists, loop the remainder around his torso.
Okay.
And knot it in an attempt to restrain him.
Okay. I am going to ask you to then make sort of your choice. If you're proficient, I think acrobatics is fine here. Sleight of hand. Either of those would be sufficient. Otherwise, it'd just be a straight dexterity check. But if you're proficient in either of those.
Oh, and I'm going to give myself a bardic inspiration.
Okay.
I forgot to mention that. I knew I wanted to do that. Okay, let me check that off. Okay, so I can use that for an ability check. So I'm going to go ahead and do sleight of hand.
I think you also have the bless from Doc.
Oh, right. Can I?
It's on attack rolls
saving?
And saves.
Yeah.
Doesn't apply. All right.
Okay, this might be good. All right. 18.
Okay, that definitely beats his 8.
Yes.
So he's because his arms were sort of free, and so he was like going around. But you managed to get them together, and at least get started on getting him restrained. So you've got like a couple of loops like around. They're pulled close. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I can do.
Okay. It is his turn, and so he's going to try and break that. It's at disadvantage. Oops. All right. So, yeah. What was your total again?
18, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. So he just meets it. So he sort of gets like one of his hands free.
Motherfucker.
So he's still like in the process. Yeah. 5e doesn't have any like official rules for going from like grappled to restrained. I've got some optional rules, but they're kind of elaborate and complicated. So I kind of like mentally move through stages to let you get there because I think it's a good idea.
Sure.
But that's his whole turn. So he's still grappled for sure, and he's just in that sliding scale of moving towards restraint. And it's Thaddeus' turn.
Would I have heard Dahlia shout that?
Absolutely.
Well, what in the world is going on up there? I'm going to do something kind of interesting. I'm going to cast, as a bonus action, cast Ensnaring Strike.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's concentration for a minute. Then I'm going to hold my action again and wait to see him.
All right. Emmeline.
All right, so let's see if we can get him all the way over. All right, so he's partially restrained. Is that what you
Yeah,
said?
he's got like this fabric wrapped around one hand. His other one's kind of, flying around.
Okay, so hopefully she would see that he was off balance and be able to knock him over pretty easily. We'll find out.
All right. So go ahead and make a strength athletics check.
Oh, now I get a nat 20. I went from a nat 1 to a nat 20.
There you go.
Excellent.
Interesting game here. Okay, and
and
athletics would be +3 on top of that.
Okay. So you push him over, you push him. You have two choices. One, you can just knock him prone. Two, you can shove him 10 feet. You shove him 10 feet, he's going to fall off the building.
I
And
don't
Thaddeus
know if
and Doc
Dahlia
are
wants
below.
me to do that. Am I getting any signals from Dahlia? I push him off the roof.
So he's falling down. So he's going to take a d6. So he takes 3 points. And Thaddeus, you're going to get your reaction because he then just appears as he's falling off the rooftop.
So I see him falling and take my shot. This is not with sharpshooter, so that's a 16 to hit.
So in this circumstance, a 16 will just hit.
All right. So that is Ooh. 10 points of damage.
Okay.
And plus the ensnaring strike, which is another 2 points, and this DC 12 strength check, or he's restrained.
And I'm going to say he's going to have disadvantage on that because he's in mid-air. He's falling.
Tied up in the scarf and everything.
Yeah, partially tied up in a scarf, pushed off. And so that's a 10. So the arrow hits him as he's falling, and these vines just spring out, wrap him together, and then he whooks on the ground. Actually, I think he should take extra falling damage because he's got no way to break his fall. He's totally tied up and just whacks like a plank.
Frost feathers!
And he's there sort of between Thaddeus and Doc.
Well, hi there.
And it's Doc's turn.
It is.
So he
Doc's
whacks
turn.
onto the ground and he's prone and restrained.
Oh man.
Vulcan neck pinch him.
Oh man. How's he looking?
He's still looking relatively healthy, beat up, but he still looks like he's got a lot of fight left.
All right. Well, I'll go. Yeah, I'll go ahead and wait for the others to get down there, but I'm going to go over and slap some manacles on him and pinned, waiting for him to come down.
Okay. So at that point, we may as well move out of initiative because once you have him manacled, he's already restrained. You throw manacles on him.
Manacled, tied up, wrapped in orange.
Fool us once.
Hey, Dan, I got a quick question. Was this the same one that I had grappled?
Yes.
Uh-oh. I'm going to need to make a deck save.
Well, you would be pretty easy to let him go.
You teed him up. You teed him up.
You just sort of had him held. Yeah. If you weren't, yeah.
Bam.
Yeah. If you weren't intending to continue holding on to him when he gets shoved off the roof, then
no, I was just thinking that would have probably taken me completely off because I was getting ready to give him the Krav Maga handshake, which is the knee to the groin. So
I'm glad you weren't like Lucy with the footballer. Emmeline would have fallen again. Just kidding.
All right. So he's tied up and restrained. You guys are, gather in the alley. He's just glaring daggers.
I'm going to walk right over and take the scarf from around the one hand and stick it in his mouth.
Yeah.
Wait,
Shove
can I
it
put
in his
some
mouth.
soap in there first?
Of course. Of course.
Absolutely.
Sure. Toss me the soap.
I'll just be standing there with the end of my bow just sitting in his stomach or somewhere. Just like...
Somewhere uncomfortable.
We're all just poking him with a stick.
Nice shot, Thaddeus, by the way.
Like, haha,
Oh, thank
you
you.
lost.
Dahlia's on approach. Dahlia's gonna look at the rest of the gang and, like, very serious expression, say, "We either need to take him back to the tavern, or we need to move somewhere a little bit more discreet."
Agreed.
Quickly.
Yeah, there's probably
Yep.
at this point like someone wanders by the alley and looks and then goes, nope.
Nope.
Grumble, where's the nearest sewer?
I was about to say, there's always the sewer.
As the
Yes.
grumble just moves in, picks him up, and like ant-like carry him and lead you to a nearby sewer entrance.
I mean, we all already did this with the nimble right through town, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
But-
And him, actually. Like, this is not
That's true.
like the second time.
Yeah, except this time he's conscious for the
They
tour.
are trained professional body movers now.
Oh, by the way, Dad, I'd also like to take his pistol from him.
I am
He is
gonna
now-
so
he's now been-
employ this whole grumble after we get finished with it. This business is gonna be booming.
So Thaddeus, you have another pistol and sort of, you take the bandolier off with the smoke powder cartridges and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
When I see Thaddeus do that, I'm gonna take his sword too.
Yes. Yeah, so it's a short sword.
Do you really need another weapon?
We have a collection of rapiers that we have accumulated. I think we have like half a
Dude.
dozen. Like 2 of them are his.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's
So
just a
Emily-
regular.
Emily leans over to Thaddeus. Oh, is that what people use when they don't know how to hit?
I hit him just fine.
Oh, I must have missed that.
Oh dear.
Really pay attention, Boo.
Sorry, I was a little busy knocking him off the roof.
Is his short sword a regular short sword?
It is.
Okay.
Just kidding, bro. Good teamwork.
Good job.
All right, so you guys move him into a sewer. Are you taking him sort of just like anywhere in the sewer so you're out of sight, or are you going to take him?
Yeah, if we can find a place where it widens a little bit so we can.
Oh yeah, easily
Yeah.
enough. You find a little
Yeah.
place. There's crappy smelling water flowing by.
Excellent.
Always.
Down
I'm-
to the sewer, quick, quick, quick.
Oh my god.
That is a side of
It's the grumble
You are in
special.
quite the festive mood tonight, Emma.
When we get to like an area, oh god, she's probably enough for like a thing. Yep, here we go.
Oh!
Perfect.
Beautiful. When we get to like a big enough opening in the sewers, I'm gonna gesture for the grumble to place him down, and I'm going to straddle him, but both of my hands around his neck, lean in really close, so like it's unavoidable for him to make eye contact with me.
Hmm.
And I used up way too many spell slots in preparation. I should have prepared better for this. God damn it. And I'm gonna cast Detect Thoughts.
Okay.
And he has to make a Wisdom saving throw of 13, DC 13.
All right, and he does not succeed.
Yes. Okay. So I am going to I'm just gonna read his surface thoughts.
Surface
'cause
thoughts.
That's what
yeah.
I get access to first.
Yeah. all you can sense and hear is almost like a mantra through his head, especially with you, like, staring him in the face, is a burning hatred of surface elves. So yeah, as an Eladrin, even more so, because you're the elfiest elf that ever elfed.
I think my mouth just pulls into like this satisfied grin.
Yeah.
And my eyes narrow slightly, and I say to him, "What are you doing? What are you and Jarlaxle up to?" And I want to the spell description on this one is a doozy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I want to listen to the surface thoughts of that, and then I'm going to probe deeper after listening to the surface thoughts.
Okay. All right. So he will go ahead and also make a, I guess, intimidation check.
Okay.
For like just the questioning beyond the spell. I don't know if it gives you advantage or anything.
You said intimidation?
Yeah.
13.
Okay. And so he, kind of does his whole smarmy smirk back at you and says, that's none of your business, and I'm not going to betray his trust.
What do his thoughts say, though?
And so his surface thoughts, he's somewhat disciplined as a professional, but you get a sort of a snatch that Jarlaxle won't be pleased, but he also seems kind of satisfied because, like, he knows that the stone got away. And so that Jarlaxle will have the stone. So he's not overly concerned about his predicament. And at least his surface thoughts, he's not thinking about the plan.
Okay.
Whatever the master plan is.
So having heard that, I'm not going to delve deeper just yet. Because once I start delving deeper, he has to make a wisdom saving throw again.
That's right.
And this only lasts for a minute. So So the next question I'm going to ask him, and I'm going to like start squeezing his neck a little bit, is fuck. I'm trying to think of how to word this.
And to help with that, I'll go ahead and really, really give it to him and cast guidance on her. Like lean in, like still making eye contact with him, letting him know, like, yeah, we're into this together. This is what's going to happen.
Yeah, you like say a little prayer and sort of put your hand on her shoulder, and there's like a glow.
Yeah, and I sort of like reflexively like roll my shoulders back and just like squeeze my hands a little bit tighter. And
I'm going to haul off and whack him in the knees, with one of my sticks. It's as hard as
oh God! I just spit all over my monitor. I was not ready for sticks.
Bear in mind, I am straddling him right now.
Yeah, but those legs would be actually sticking out the back long enough for me to give him enough pain to maybe break something.
I'm like, sticks! Cut it out!
Let the lady ask her questions.
It might. It truly might.
It might.
Emmeline's like, it might help if you hit him harder.
Everyone's so ready to hit him.
He's got one more knee.
I just sigh, and in Elven, I say to him, I'm trying to figure out how to word this question. What does Fel'rekt want? How long have you been working together?
All right. I have to make a insight check. You go ahead and make a deception check on just like how much you're holding back your own tone and stuff.
You get a D4 with that.
And yeah.
D4. And what was it again?
Deception.
Okay. 25.
Okay. He looks at you like his eyes kind of narrow with that whole puzzled look, like he's doing the looking back and forth between your eyes trying to read you and totally can't, and so has no sort of clue on why you're asking about Fel'rekt, and he just says Fel'rekt has been part of the organization for years, just as I have. You want to know that?
Okay. What do his service stats say?
And it would just be like a whole bunch of him questioning, like, when you're trying to figure something out, and so it's going through his head on why you might be asking specifically about Fel'rekt. How do you know that name? There's who talked. Is there a mole?
So this spell lasts a minute.
Yeah.
How much time do I have left?
I'd say you've got one or two other good questions that you could get in.
Okay. Still in Elvish, gonna say to him, where is Jarlaxle? Where are you taking the stone?
You can go ahead and make an intimidation check.
And guidance lasts for a minute, so you still have a D4 to go with that.
Does that work for checks?
Ability checks?
Guidance does, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and that's D4?
Mm-hmm.
And it's intimidation, you said?
Yes.
Okay. Didn't roll super awesome. Oh, crap. Dan, I promise I'm not cheating. I rolled the dice, and I must have flipped it over. I don't remember what I got.
Go ahead and roll again. That's fine.
Okay. I know it wasn't great, but I don't remember what it was anymore. It was on a 19 when I looked at it. I was like, that's definitely not what I rolled. Okay, that's actually not super great either. So we're in the same ballpark. Great. Okay. 19.
Okay. And so he basically just sort of smiles and says, "Oh, I'm not that stupid. You'd have to kill me before I'll give that up."
Well, then what do I thought so?
and he is disciplined enough that he wouldn't, he doesn't know you're like reading his thoughts, but he's disciplined enough, and magic's a thing for questioning that his surface thoughts don't betray the location.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna delve deeper.
All right, so it's a wisdom save. What's your spell save DC again?
13.
Okay. He does not succeed. Yes! So you like shred through his outer layers and plunge into the most hateful, dark, and horrendous mine you have ever been in. Because you're like, you're falling through like memories as you draw in and just seeing like horrendous things that he has done in his life.
I think at the same time that like I'm descending,
yeah,
like there's this like my eyes start to like flicker, like an internal flame, and there's like slight heat waves coming off my body. Even though I'm in winter form, there's like heat now coming off.
Yeah. And so then you see images of 3 ships. The Maiden's Fair. You see 2 ships docked, and you see a 3rd ship in the middle of Waterdeep Harbor.
So 3 ships and 2 are docked.
Yeah, you see like images of like 3 ships sailing into Waterdeep.
I saw 3 ships come sailing.
And two of them dock, and one of them stays out in the harbor. And you have the name, the Maiden's Fair. And you see images of performers and drow disguised as sailors.
Motherfuckers.
We got them.
And
We got their name.
you have just 1 second. There. And you have the names of ships. There is the Heartbreaker and the Hellraiser. Those are the docked ships. You can see that emblazoned on the side. And the third ship in the middle, known as the Eye Catcher.
We know about these.
And you see an image, sort of like, comes up when he's thinking about Jarlaxle, of a drow, a very handsome drow, clad in a lot of purple, and lounging on a bed, like a big king size bed, with 2 women. And I swear that is not me. That is actually in.
I believe it.
I did not make this
did
up.
not think that was your own magic.
That's not my own
flair.
That's not my own descriptive flair. Jarlaxle is Jarlaxle.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
And I was trying, when I was cautiously Googling Fel'rekt to see if there was official art of him, and then Jarlaxle kept popping up, and I was like, oh, yeah.
There's only the official art that they use for all the drow gunslingers.
Boo. Okay.
All right.
Is that it? Have I used up my time?
And I think with that, you have used up your time.
I'm gonna give him a slap across the face.
Your brain is disgusting.
and I'm gonna slowly like step back from him, and still like standing over him, and cross my arms over my chest, kind of grin down at him, like when somebody is, the expression I'm giving is like, I have won. And I'm just gonna say these 3 words: Heartbreaker, Hellraiser, and Eye Catcher. Creative names for ships.
And his eyes go wide, and his like face contorts in rage, and he's snarling very nasty things that I won't repeat at you.
And then I want to follow up and smack him in the mouth.
Aspersions on your parentage. And
Nox slapped one cheek, M reaches in and slaps the other. That's not nice language.
And I'm just going to go up and hit him.
Was it it was Davil, right, that gave him back to Jarlaxle?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I kind of want to just look at him, and still looking at him, and Sticks, he got away once. Do we let that happen again?
Nope, not at this time.
Anyone opposed?
No, we should hold on to him. And I don't break eye contact like as we're talking about him.
All right, you're lucky.
I'm going to say some nasty things back to him in Sylvan, my native tongue.
Which he doesn't understand.
Yeah, I figure he doesn't. Shit. But it's like the most musical and beautiful insult.
Being
like
insulted in
birds.
French.
Yeah.
Yeah, by birds.
Well, we take the sewers back to AD&D and start fresh in the morning.
Yeah.
So are we really putting this piece of trash back in our basement?
It's either that or turn him over to the authorities.
No, we need to hold on to him for now.
I agree. Well,
Okay.
maybe just outside in the usual spot, surrounded by shit.
Right.
Of course.
Right.
I'm gonna kneel down in front of him, like elbows on my knees, like in a squat, and be like, and again, my face is like oven is just a big shit-eating grin on my face. And I'm like, you seem to be quite comfortable there last time. You don't mind sleeping there again, do you?
And yeah, he again sort of just curses you up and down. You'll pay for this, blah blah blah. He does his typical.
Emmeline washes his mouth.
Just gonna punch him again one more time.
I put a hand on his shoulder. Okay, enough's enough. You don't need to. He's defenseless.
All right, let's roll Grumble.
Grumble.
We put the key into the ignition of the Grumble. Grumble, 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 grumble,
Yeah,
grumble,
he has
grumble, grumble.
I like that sound effect, Emily. I should have had that recorded so I could just play it.
Anytime you point, on it.
All right.
Oh my god.
You're my soundboard. Excellent. All right. So you get him back. You return to AD&D, and all right. So what's your guys' plan?
Good question.
Yeah, discussing it over evening donuts and coffee or ale.
I'm
Go
gonna
ahead.
seek out Doc.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say, Doc, I need to talk to you.
Sure thing.
And I'm gonna move us to some place away from the rest of the group. I'm gonna take out the pin, the drow pin again, flip it over, point at the letter F, and say, this is not it's not something I thought I found him. Who this belongs to.
Him?
What, I'm sorry, what?
Oh, no, sorry. Him? Like what?
Oh, I thought you said in him, and I was
Oh.
like, what?
Like,
Where are we going with this?
Like you've never mentioned any names. So
Yeah.
like when you say him, I'm like, oh, him. Okay.
I nod kind of solemnly. Yes. And he is working with Jarlaxle to get this money to help his people. I don't know if you knew this about the Drow, but they're not exactly the best society, and it's not one that he was ever accepted in or welcome in. I knew that about him, which isn't exactly uncommon, but I know he was trying to walk a better path. Anyways, I have agreed to meet him tomorrow. I don't really know what to do with this information with the rest of the group, with you. I told him that if he was in trouble, that I could help. I think my hope is that you and everybody else could help too, but I know that we all have made our own promises to different people in the city, and I'm not really sure what I'm asking or...
Well, as far as our share, if we actually recover this, I don't think anyone would have qualms with assisting a group of people by giving over their portion of this. I don't know if we could do all 500,000 dragons. That's what we can do is we can try to help to the best of our ability. I don't think anyone will fight you on that. But if it brings heat from the head of Waterdeep or one of them, or the powers that be, that's a different story.
I also don't know what they intend to do with the money, and I don't know what his, and I kind of gestured to the pin, what his real intentions or goals are. I suspect there's a lot I don't know about this person, more than I originally thought. So I can't even promise that what they want the money for is even for a good cause. It's my hope that that's the case.
Oh, and so do I. It sounds like you'll know more after tomorrow, and I see no harm in waiting 24 hours before we do anything rash. I think if you're upfront and honest with the group, I think they'll be able to hear you out. Pretty much just tell them what you told me. It's not far-fetched. It's honest. It's from the heart. So
I'm gonna look down at my feet. All right. Let's go tell everybody else then. See what they think.
all right. Well, I got your back.
And then I walk away. And and back to the rest of the gang. And to make a long story short, I basically tell them what I told Doc. In addition to the information that I gleaned from Dick Face's brain.
Right.
Yeah. So, in just kind of reiterating what I had told her, and kind of filling in the silences that are maybe left by what Dahlia shares, and Doc is just, we don't need to make any moves. We can hear him out, see what he actually says. He might actually give us the location and actually help us out in this whole thing. So,
Well, having a inside man, as it were, in these kind of situations can be helpful. Seems to me such service should have some compensation.
I have found over the time that working in the job that I have, the more friends you have, the easier some jobs get done. So sometimes you have to make some interesting new acquaintances.
I think, based on what I saw in Soliston's thoughts, that Jarlaxle, who we may or may not encounter directly, has an affinity for things that look nice. So you might want to put on your Sunday best.
Can do that. It seems to me, and I kind of look at Styx and Doc, you might want to go hunting for a submersible device that we saw before.
agreed.
That makes sense, I think.
Should we bring a gift for your underwater friend, Thaddeus?
Absolutely.
Have him, just be at the ready if he sees anything interesting or shiny moving.
Yes. Do we have any such
Well,
gifts that would interest him?
Also, I'll just interject before you get too far along. You would need something to breathe underwater.
And then Thaddeus gets some underwater breathing potions.
I talked about it. I don't think we
I thought
ever
you'd already
actually
got
They're like 250 gold.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's why we probably...
Yeah.
I think it would be worth it in this case. But we did get a hefty reward from a couple of those, knocking out a couple of those things on our to-do list.
That is true.
All right. So what are you guys doing? What's the plan?
So I guess I'll go visit our neighborhood alchemist
Okay.
and see if they have any potions that would help us.
I'm going to go down. I'm going to go down and look in the armory and kind of look through our collection of weapons to see if we have anything that our rather large water friend might enjoy to put to his collection.
You've got just kind of normal stuff. It's not nothing particularly.
Right. Wait a minute. Didn't somebody pick up a pistol?
Yes, Thaddeus has 2 pistols.
Yeah, we had a couple pistols. We bring a pistol. I also wonder if we should go talk to our gnomish, or the Temple of Gon, and see if they have some trinket that might be interesting.
What does your bronze friend like?
You have a trinket that you got.
We do.
The barking
the barking box.
The barking box.
Not sure how well that'll work underground. However, I with enough time can transmutate something that might be worth giving our friend. Using the
the forge cleric.
Yeah, the artisan's blessing. So it takes about an hour, but we can make some gifts.
If you need to forge any certificates of authenticity, I can help with that.
When you buy from the shopping channel, this comes with.
Exactly.
We just recently purchased this.
Yeah. All right, so Fala they do have some water breathing potions. Like I said, they're 250 gold. You've got some trinkets, you've got some pistols. You can, under the restrictions of your artisan's blessing, you can make anything of whatever gold value you're willing to spend.
Yeah.
It seemed to like shiny things.
Shiny things.
I mean, Emmeline probably has jewelry at home she could go get.
It's a bronze dragon. They're going to like anything.
Oh, yeah. So I'm just kind of shaking down, and then...
Does it have to be, truly valuable or sparkly?
A little bit of both. I don't know. Maybe more sparkly than anything, because he's just starting out as a dragon.
Yeah, they like gold.
Yeah.
So she might just run home and look through her jewelry.
Yeah. So I'll go and make one of a little golden sub, and then one of a dragon that I imagine him looking at. So I had a couple of them.
Yep. Just let me know how much gold they are worth.
Okay. Well,
whatever you put into it.
Yeah, I'll say 50 gold a piece.
Okay.
And I mean, having worked and everything, I'm sure it's there. So, but yeah, it's not breaking the bank, but perhaps not like chump change either. So it really kind of solidifies the friendship.
Right. Okay. And Emmeline, I'm gonna have you make me a persuasion check to see what you might be able to get a hold of, because you don't actually own your jewelry; your parents do.
Exactly.
Persuasion. Could I just roll stealth?
You know what?
Mom,
it is your choice, and if you wish to steal from your parents, I am fine with that. It might go poorly if you fail.
I mean, they have made her go to a lot of dinner parties recently.
This is true.
Oh, maybe your suitors gave you gifts.
Hey, I like how you think. So she's not getting like precious family heirlooms or anything. She's getting all the crap that her suitors gave her, trying to impress her. And I like that a lot. Thank you. And her mommy would not be happy, so she's gonna go with stealth.
Okay.
She's definitely trying to sneak in and get the junk that she doesn't want, which isn't really junk. You know, the dragon will like it, but you know, she doesn't care. She doesn't need it. All right, and that is a 21.
Oh.
All right, you are a ghost in your estate. Go ahead and roll me a d10. No, roll me percentile dice. So that like the 2d10.
Yeah. This one.
Yep.
Okay. 60.
Okay. See, you got 60 gold pieces worth of jewelry.
Woohoo!
Which is actually a lot.
She had a lot of suitors and dinner parties.
Emmeline Brosfeather may get grounded after this, but sent back to the monastery. All right. Okay.
I'm sorry, Mom. I was out cleaning the shrine and it just must have fallen off. I don't know what happened to it.
All right. So, all right. So you've got some trinkets for the bronze dragon, and Thaddeus. How many potions of water breathing are you guys able to get? They're 250 apiece.
That's a good question. What do we have for party funds? I don't have numbers like that. Brian, are you?
I haven't been keeping track.
I believe with the nimble ride, and then I know we spent some money recruiting Trench, but I don't think it was.
You spent 50 gold on Trench.
50 gold, yeah.
Okay, so then yeah, we have enough for I would say at least one. I mean, do you feel you need backup?
I think I can do that on my own. So yeah, I'll get one, and we'll decide who goes talk to him.
Okay. All right. All right, so the big picture is at dusk, you guys are going to Mistshore. So Mistshore is in the dock ward, but it's not conveniently located like right at those docks. So it's not by those ships, but it is on the harbor front. So who's doing what?
As we're going there, I'll actually ask Doc. I'll say, do we need to keep an eye on her?
Maybe from a distance, but
I can't help anyone else, but I can make myself look different.
True. Yeah.
And if need be, I can hit people at range.
Yeah. She does have that nifty ability where she can get out of tight situations pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But real fast, Dan.
Yep.
Would we have visited the dragon earlier in the day?
Well, that's why I'm asking to get.
Yeah.
I want to know what you guys intend.
What I was going to get at is Thaddeus could cast Disguise Self, keep an eye at a distance.
Right.
But then somebody else would have to go bargain with the dragon.
So, your friend down there really just knows you and maybe Styx. So, that's not to say that he couldn't represent us, and you definitely could watch from a distance, and I could post up a little bit further. I kind of like that. I think that
might.
I agree.
I'm growing rather fond of you crazy people.
Likewise. No, and you know how to give her space, but it's as an older brother, I know as much as you hate to admit it, you have that protective spirit around you. No one else picks on her but you. So Let's just
Exactly.
apply that to Dahlia, and I think she'll appreciate it. So
Exactly. So I'll ask Styx if he'd mind doing the underwater negotiations.
No, I'm fine with doing the underwater negotiations. I think that'll be awesome.
Okay. So when Dahlia goes for the meeting, I'll cast Disguise Self, just make myself look like a normal water Davian dock worker.
Yep.
so this is also the next day, right?
Yeah, I mean,
it should be.
I was just making
rest
sure that way I
and-
could we moved on. I need to reset my spells. That's all.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Seems
and, yeah,
So
And-
you guys need Emmeline anywhere?
I was about to. Yeah. So, hey, Emmeline, you wanna look at some ships? We can start walking by, and you and I can kind of keep an eye on the boats, or we could just go drinking. I don't know.
Well, I mean, should we help?
So you guys also know, like, Mistshore, you don't go drinking in Mistshore. You don't walk and just wander around Mistshore. So what I was going to describe
Okay.
is, like, Mistshore is, about a year ago, there was a big fire, and it burnt out a huge amount of buildings, and it's slums. There is literally a boat that is beached on the wharf, like a big ship, that a bunch of like thugs hang out at and look to get hired out as toughs, and live in sort of like the rat infested rotting hulk of the ship below. And there's just like a maze of like ramshackle. All the like huts are just built from like the salvaged timbers off of like broken ships and stuff. It's not a great place.
Okay, I'm assuming none of us are really dressed up then, so that we kind of blend in.
Right, of course.
So
So-
I might just want to go to a roof and keep an eye
Yeah.
on things.
Yeah. No, that sounds great. And then
Okay.
I'll try to keep low key. Maybe near Thaddeus and Emmeline, but not close enough to like throw
So
off there.
Should we have like a pre-arranged signal, so if I see somebody coming your way, I'm like, hoo-hoo! Maybe not, because you know it's daytime, or like, caw.
Maybe a little bit of grumble talk. Yeah, just a little bit of that as
My
the
dog is really confused now.
the goblin crows at midnight type thing.
Okay, I'll yell that from the roof. The goblin crows at midnight. All right, so Emmeline scrambles up to a roof and kind of lays low and looks around.
Okay. So the question is, in terms of the dragon, what are you asking it?
Oh boy, we should have asked. We should have gotten a set of questions to ask.
Well, you
We
can
have
have
faith
a
in you,
little.
Styx.
You can have a little bit, right? We're not actually in heat of the moment. I've been trying
Right.
to ask you guys like big picture what you're doing
Gotcha.
before we dive
Okay.
into scenes. So
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And as far as that goes, Dan, with that description of where the environment is, in addition to Disguise Self, I would also try hide.
Yeah. Sure.
No.
Yep. All right. So dragons.
As
What do you
far
guys?
as the dragon,
We need to ask it something about the submersible.
Don't let it leave the harbor. Or
Yeah.
if it would keep an eye on it, or if it's seen any movements. But also don't let it leave.
yeah.
We will compensate it, but don't let it leave.
We could just give it the whole submersible.
I am fine with that.
Hey. All right.
Okay.
If you don't let it leave, you get to keep it.
Exactly.
Yep.
And you show them like, here's a small one. That one is worth a lot more and a lot more impressive, and it's a one of a kind.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Okay.
I like it.
All right.
All right.
And
So-
before we part ways, I'll go ahead and cast Aid on everybody. Three creatures. So I'll go ahead and do it on Dahlia, Styx, and Emmeline.
Okay.
That gives you 5 temporary. Each target's hit point maximum and current hit points increase by 5.
Okay.
The 5 temps. So
Okay.
For the next 8 hours.
sweet.
All right. So Styx, I want you to go ahead and give me a persuasion check with advantage for your negotiations with the bronze.
Oh Lord. Persuasion. Not one of my better ones.
With advantage.
All right, here we go. Okay, a 10.
Okay. The dragon happily takes your gifts, and but he's somewhat non-committal on exactly what it may or may not do with the submersible. Does say it will keep an eye on it for you for sure, but whether it will expend a whole lot of energy to keep it if it should flee is debatable.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll relay that to everybody else to the point.
Yep.
that-
When you get back, which is you're kind of off, doing that. Thaddeus, go ahead and give me a stealth check. And Emmeline, go ahead and give me a stealth check. For your...
Stealth?
Yep.
19 for me.
Okay.
15?
Okay. Excellent. All right. So, as the camera zooms in on Mistshore, which is appropriately wreathed in an evening fog that rolls in off the harbor, Dahlia, as you are making your way through, a familiar figure steps out of an alley around behind this beached ship and makes its way towards you.
So when I woke up this morning,
Right. Yep. Good point. That's fair.
Dolly would have stayed at their own place just to
Yeah.
make sure they had their best duds. Didn't care, what kind of slum they were going to. Had to look their best. But when they met back up with the rest of the gang, there's a noticeable difference. The masculine features are gone, replaced with feminine features. And the hair is like a purple color, and the skin is like a very deep golden bronze. They have changed season once more. This one you have not seen before. So I walk into Mistshore. I'm like clutching onto my little like satchel, like with 2 hands,
Mhm.
just looking around, and I let Fel'rekt come up to me.
Okay. And he would, and he does that sort of like, he stops a little further back, looks a little unsure. Clearly wants to move closer, but is kind of hesitant.
And I'm wearing the drow pin too.
Yeah.
I have the fabric of many fashions wrapped on my shoulders with
Okay.
the close with the pin. And I close the distance between us. Just stop.
Mm-hmm.
Probably just make eye contact because I'm tall as fuck, and or even look down. I don't know how tall this dude is. And just take a deep breath, and
He knows this form of Dahlia this season.
he knows every form of Dahlia.
Knows all the forms of Dahlia. Excellent. All shapes and sizes and colors and okay. I think he quirks a smile a little bit, sort of just the corners of his mouth, and he says, "I'm glad you came, and if it counts for anything, I always liked this you best."
I just laugh a little bit.
Gee!
Well, I don't know how to respond to that right now, Fel'rekt. Do I call you that? What do I call you?
You can use either, but Fel'rekt is the name I first chose when I became this, when I left Menzoberranzan.
I have a lot of questions for you, and don't think that we have quite the time to talk about them right now.
Perhaps not.
So, my hope is we can have a lot more time together later.
I'd like that.
I don't know what you're doing or how I can help, so why don't you tell me?
I think we're not at as much cross purposes as it may seem. Despite what you may think, I'm a good person. Jarlaxle has done so much for those of us cast out and disadvantaged among our people. And he has made a home for us here. Well, like most families, it's not always the most functional. Not all of the family members are enlightened. But Jarlaxle, well, Jarlaxle's methods are Jarlaxle's methods. But if it wasn't for him, I would have died. I never would have made it out of the Underdark. I never would have made it out of even Menzoberranzan if it wasn't for Jarlaxle. He saved my life more than once, and he's been like a brother to me. Which, given my history, is a little bit more than I ever could have expected or asked for in our society. And we've done work all over the Sword Coast, selling our blades, working. Not everything has been the best work to be proud of, but very little of it would I ever be ashamed of. And Jarlaxle has a plan.
I'm gonna cast Detect Thoughts.
Okay. And his surface thoughts, I mean, you kind of have to, like, not that you're digging deeper, but you have to, like, ride the waves of his own emotions, which I imagine are closely matching your own. As they're not, I don't know for sure, but I can imagine they're a little turbulent.
Yeah.
And so his brain is racing. He talks deliberately a little slowly because his brain is going so fast he can't keep up, right? So he's got to slow himself down. But nothing in his surface thoughts is contradicting what he is saying. So he's matching up. Jarlaxle also intends for the money to go back to the people it belongs to.
Who does it belong to?
People of Waterdeep.
So then how would the money help your people?
And he reaches into a satchel that he has, and he pulls out a gray stone.
Ah!
And you can actually see it's a gray stone. It's about a foot long or so. It's rather big. And in the middle, on one side, are 3 eyes that blink at you.
Fel'rekt?
This is the Stone of Golorr.
So
He doesn't know that I brought it here.
are you in danger then?
It wouldn't be worth it if I wasn't. And he slaps the stone into your hand.
I put it in my satchel.
I didn't attune to it. But if you do, it'll tell you where the vault is and how to get there and what you need to get in. I'm
Okay.
helping you, so you can help me.
Tell me what to do.
You need to get the coin and give it to Jarlaxle.
Jesus. Oh,
But-
fuck.
I don't know all of his plans, but he intends to give it back to the people of Waterdeep.
Why does he have to be the one to give it back to the people? Why? I don't understand.
We have a new home. Jarlaxle intends to buy his way into the Lord's Alliance.
What does that mean to me?
So the Lord's Alliance is an alliance of the sort of the main like nobles and city rulers of the major cities of like the north and the Sword Coast. There are some cities that don't belong because you have to be accepted for a membership. But it's like mutual. They're one of the factions. It's like a mutual defense and trading pact, and it's like NATO, basically.
Fantasy NATO.
Yeah. So obviously being a member comes with significant benefits. Economic, like everything.
Yeah.
But he intends to buy it by giving the money back. I think that a cut of the money would still be appropriate.
Okay. I can help then.
And I should say, to make this a little easier, the offer of a cut still stands. You were never dealing with Laeral Silverhand.
I just start like grinning slowly. Then who are we dealing with?
We were on the same side all along.
I just like shake my head and like laugh a little bit. Who was it? You then? Was it you
No.
standing in? Then who?
No.
Who was that?
Never say you've never met Jarlaxle Ray.
Well. Okay. I just run my hands through my hair, shake my head, like clearly I'm like flabbergasted in this moment. Jarlaxle aside, now that I know I can't trust the people that we meet or who I see with my own two eyes, and I don't know, even you could be Jarlaxle, and I reach out and like start squeezing at his upper arm, you know?
It feels familiar.
I will do this thing. What comes next between you and us?
One day at a time.
Okay. I hope that next day comes because you have a lot to answer for, Fel'rekt.
I know. If we get the money, if Jarlaxle can buy our way into the Lord's Alliance, then I don't have any need to go away ever again.
And Dahlia will take a step forward, put a hand on his face, and say, I don't give a damn about any of this money. I hope you know I'm only doing this for you. And then she'll lean in and give him a kiss.
And he will, of course, reciprocate with verve. And the music swells and the camera comes out and pans around. Emmeline and Thaddeus are up on
I have an audience.
like rooftops and alleyways.
Up on the rooftop. Frost feathers.
Styx is climbing out of the water, dripping wet like a drowned rat onto the docks.
Yeah, like he thinks it looks sexy, but it just looks pathetic.
Oh, you're muted, Styx.
And I'm glad I remembered to take my chainmail off. That would have been nasty.
It's not D&D, it's side stories and smooches.
That's it.
I'm here for it.
Emmeline's still jealous.
Emmeline will get her smooches too somewhere.
He's gonna like stomp off and go find Edwin.
Happy. All right, so for expediency's sake, why don't we cut to everyone is, let's say, gathered back at AD&D with the Stone of Golorr sitting on the table in front of you. Fel'rekt has left because Fel'rekt sort of needs to maintain appearances. Or would he? No, because he took the stone and the stone would be missing. So no, Fel'rekt is still with you. So Fel'rekt is with you.
Yes!
Okay.
So there's this like greenish gray rock. It's sort of flat on one side, so it's sitting on the table naturally still. And it's got sort of a wrinkled, swirly appearance, and it's got these three all kind of lidded black eyes stacked one over the other, so they're like in a row in the middle. All that Fel'rekt says with you is that it wasn't always a stone. It was an aboleth that has been magically transmuted into a stone, and yes, it is still sentient.
What's an apple moth?
You don't want to know. That's what Fel'rekt says. But he says you do have to attune to it to be able to use it to get to the vault.
Well, this is a thing. That's also a thing.
Well,
It's a little surreal, isn't it?
a lot of this is.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
quite trust it.
I would have had the stone with me on my person for a while anyways, right?
That's right. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I just held the thing. I'm like, all right, well, we don't exactly have all day here, so I've already been holding on to it. I guess I'll finish off the process so we can get this over with.
Right.
Okay.
All right, go for it.
All right. So I will tell our chat that if you were a player from one of the other streams, then now may be a good time, if you do not wish to spoil yourself for coming spoilers, that this may be a good time to go goodbye.
Also, if you don't wish to soil yourself.
All right.
Been warned.
Yep. Giving them a couple of seconds while I load something up.
It's very hard. It's very hard for Dahlia to focus on this with Fel'rekt right next to her.
Yeah. And it takes like an hour to sit there with it, concentrating on it.
I'm gonna lead him off when I start noticing she's having a hard time concentrating.
So during this time as well, just for expediency's sake, while she's attuning that, Doc may or may not be preparing ceremony.
Oh my god, you guys are too much.
It takes an hour.
Y'all move too fast.
All right. Okay. So you attune to the stone, and a sort of
Sound effects.
yeah, the theremin plays. A very atonal sort of voice then whispers into your mind in communion with you and says, yes, you will do. Some others who have handled me I have deemed unworthy of Lord Neverember's vault, but you will do. So, the stone has...
Pulls the cat on.
Yeah.
It's such like an you'll do.
The stone's like, you are acceptable.
My name is Dr. Claw. I'll get you next time, Gadget. Okay, so the stone has 3 charges. Blah, 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 regain some at dawn, whatever. You can spend a charge using the stone to cast Legend Lore. When you cast Legend Lore in this way, you communicate directly with the Aboleth, who's the one who just said hello to you so nicely, and it will share its knowledge with you. It can't lie to you, but the information it often gives is cryptic or vague. It knows where the vault is, and it knows what you need to get there, and it knows some other things about the vault. Just 1 second. Can communicate telepathically with you while you're attuned to it. Sure. Okay. That is good. Okay. All right. So if you choose to, you can. Oh yeah, there's that. I forgot that. Thanks, Max.
The Elijahs are supposed to stick together. I'm not gonna remember any of this. God damn it. Can't write this fast. Right. I hope you're taking great notes right now.
all I have right now is Fel'rekt loves Dahlia. That's all I really have.
All that matters in this game.
I'm taking
Dahlia
notes.
So
I'm
Dahlia,
totally with you.
roll
All
me
the way.
roll me a percentile dice.
Yeah.
I didn't hear what the result was.
2d10s, is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Do I have 2d10s? Oh shit.
If not, you can just roll a d10 twice.
I think I have. Okay.
Oh yeah, I can absolutely get it into your inventory in D&D Beyond.
Yay. Is that a 10 or a 10% or that's a 1 and a 0. I don't know how you read the percentile dice.
Oh, a 1. So does one of your D10s have like double digits on it, like 0, 0, 2, 0, or just 2? So just whichever one is the first digit. So roll again and just roll.
It's a 1.
So okay.
Yeah.
So that would be a 10. All right. Okay. So are you already? You're not. You suddenly know a lot more about magic.
Oh fuck yeah.
While attuned to the artifact, you're now proficient in Arcana.
Oh, cool.
Neat.
Now I need you to roll another percentile dice.
Ooh.
5 and a 5.
All right, 55.
5.
Okay. So if you experiment with it, you'll find that if you are more than 10 feet away from the stone, you go deaf.
Oh no!
But then as soon as you get back,
Performer, can't you?
yeah. I mean, but you know the stone.
Speaking of personal experience, it's a lot of fun sometimes.
You can stick it in your satchel or whatever.
I stepped away from it at one point, and I'm just like.
So it's kind of like your hearing aids.
All right,
All
so
right.
I also have proficiency
in Arcana.
Cool.
All right. So if you use the legend lore, then you can find out about the vault.
Sweet. Do we want to do that now?
I mean, it resets
Yeah.
every day, so might as. I mean, it's dusk.
I don't,
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's got three charges, and obviously you can use legend lore to ask about more than just the vault. But I'm assuming you want to know about the vault.
Yeah.
Probably.
All right.
Dahlia feels there's an overarching time element, and she's not sure where it's coming from, but
Yeah.
maybe she should ask about the vault.
She feels a little bit of time pressure. So when you expend the charge, you know, the eyes like blink at you and the voice reaches into your mind again and then starts showing you a series of images. And so you see yourself going over the sea ward and then rushing in on an old, kind of abandoned looking windmill in the sea ward. You're probably familiar with it. There's probably not too many old abandoned windmills in the sea ward. So you recognize it as actually part of it is inhabited by a once famous artist who, at least for a while, was the scandalous lover of Lord Dagalt Neverember.
Get it?
Yeah. But your brain goes into a room sort of off at one of the main entrances into almost like a little closet, and there's a trap door. And the trap door, then you kind of, you know, keep zooming in, and you go down sort of into a tunnel underground, and then are confronted with these like huge, massive closed doors that look like they're made out of adamantine. So incredibly robust doors.
Okay.
And the voice then says 3 keys are needed.
Can I ask it where the keys are?
And it then proceeds to tell you what the keys are. You need the severed hand of a dark elf.
Oh, motherfucker.
We can do that.
Let's grab 2 just in case.
Oh, actually, we do have like a little, a little drow
Yes,
pantry.
we have a volunteer in the basement already.
Oh man,
I'll make it clean.
You need a dwarf with no beard.
Oh, shave it off.
And you need the scale of a bronze dragon.
Oh shit.
Guess I'm going to be using that water breathing potion one more time.
I think it's only 1 dose.
You'll need another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Dahlia will go do some work back at the Summer's Night and pick up some money real quick in the night.
Wonder if I can get a job real
it
quick.
Would take quite the performance to earn 250 gold.
Well,
wow. Hey Dan, can you still see me? Because my screen's been completely dark for like 3 minutes. Okay.
Yep.
I don't know how to fix it, but if you can see me,
Aw.
then I'll just sit here and make faces, and I can't see you here, so I'm sorry.
Sounds good.
Okay, so now I know you can see me. Just
Damn.
checking. No
what
kidding.
Cindy does best.
Your video has been coming in loud and clear.
Yes, it has.
It all makes sense now, doesn't it?
Oh, it's been great. Yes.
All
Yeah, I'm
right.
just gonna imagine you right now because I can't see you.
Well, that's okay because you now know you have the location and you have the keys and you know what you need. And that's where we are going to end for the night. So we will pick up next week with our finales as you go to the vault. I think most of your keys, like, you know, it doesn't take a lot for you to get them, so we can start out pretty quick. And and I think we will that's where we will end for the night. So thanks everyone for sticking around and watching. Tune in next week as we wrap Dragon Heist. Once again, of course, we are not the only stream. We've got 4 other groups going through. So next week we'll kick off with, of course, the Winter Crew, led by the incomparable Eugenio Vargas. But we do have, before then, tomorrow night, Taryn with the Summer Crew, and of course Saturday, starting at 12:30 Eastern, DM Corey will be leading the Spring Crew through, and then we will head into our final week, wrapping up before the holidays. But of course, we do have many other things planned for the gap and into the new year, and eventually running some big things. So yes, thanks again for watching. Of course, if you don't follow the channel, subscribe if you do that sort of thing. Otherwise, we do have Patreon below, many other things. Join us on Twitter. So let's go around and say goodbye and what everyone's favorite moments were. And once again, of course, I'm leaving Nox for last because of course I am.
Yes.
But hey, I think, kudos to Dahlia for moving the plot forward and stuff. So hey.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Great.
Absolutely. So Cindy, what about you?
Imagining all your faces right now. No, so I mean, yeah, Dahlia was pretty awesome with plot stuff. I don't know. I'm asleep. Ask somebody else.
Fair enough, Jeff.
Oh, there was so much in this session. Dahlia was good. There was a lot of fun interaction, but one thing I did want to call out, Ryan, I really appreciate how Doc's using the assistant spells, and it feels very natural and very good. It's neat to see that in play. I don't see that often enough.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It's the first time doing it, so it's trying to do what I can.
Doc is so nice. I want to know him in real life.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Doc seems like a big friendly dwarf, but you wouldn't want to cross him. You wouldn't like him when he's angry.
I know people like sticks that can make people disappear. I want to see my friends succeed, especially since they're taller and willing to get into the fight. The least I can do is buff them up. So
yeah, that's a good point. So on that note, Ryan, what about you?
Yeah, man, it really was a good session. It was very satisfying to get D-Face taken care of.
Yes.
And I mean, there was that. There was.
I love how we did that too.
Oh man!
A combination of everybody.
Oh my god! Like it was a team effort, and it like sucks to the other guys. Like we got what we wanted, and it definitely paid off. And it was just like there was just so many good scenes. I will say, as to help cut the tension, like all the songs that were shared by.
Yes, that was excellent.
It was very much a holiday episode. It was great. I loved it. It really did help provide a balance.
It really did. That was helpful.
It's an AD&D
plot
Christmas
and
special.
nonsense.
Exactly.
Well, that too.
Because you're going along the surface, and then you gotta dig deep, for those plot points, the heartstrings, and you come back up, and then
So what you're saying is we were the Star Wars holiday special?
Oh
no.
Don't put that on us, Ricky Bobby.
Yeah, far less cocaine was involved in the production of this.
Yes.
All right, excellent. Matt?
My favorite one happened to be Emily and her let's do the Thigh Master on somebody.
That was such a beautiful callback.
Oh, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's such a hilarious move.
Thank you. I missed a game. I had to make up for it.
And you did, in spades.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And of course, Nox, what about you?
There's a lot of favorite moments. I love anytime Emmeline does her like Chun-Li moves. That's always a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I liked disabling Soliston
Before we cut off his hand.
Yep, it's coming.
Hands. Remember,
Taking them both.
Insurance.
have a partner.
Yeah, I like putting him in his place, like the teamwork on the rooftop, and then the scene in the sewers. That was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, any scene with Fel'rekt, I'm all about. That was fun. I'm glad Fel'rekt is now with the party. Very happy about that.
Yep.
Yeah, I like the whole thing. I don't have a favorite moment. I liked all of it.
Yeah, it'd be a close call for me too. The hijinks on the roof in that fight was always fun. I like when things go unexpected and swingy back and forth, and like just interesting things happen instead of just like I hit him and just whack back and forth. So I actually enjoy the like escalating, trying to like tie someone up and pushing them off a roof. That's always fun.
I like how he ended up with manacles and a pretty scarf to boot.
Right. Soap in his mouth.
And bind wrap too.
Oh my god, it was really a team effort. It really was. And that was a bold move right out the gate, doing like the
superhero landing on the roof.
That was awesome. Yeah.
Poor bastards inside. What's going on?
It was probably that key shop. Oh no, that's a different place, but whatever.
There's more than one key shop. It's fine.
It's his brothers.
Right.
It's a chain.
Yeah. So it's
Key
between.
chains.
Oh, God.
So tired. I'm sorry.
That was good. I was hoping someone was.
I'm
Yeah, so-
ashamed.
So
Don't be.
between that and getting to play Fel'rekt to the hilt, that's fun. He's a fun NPC. I so rarely get to have those like tortured soul, heartfelt moments, and so it's always fun to play. So
Someone should illustrate all the Kodak moments with Dahlia in this game.
absolutely. We need
There's at
fan
least
art.
one per session.
We need fan art of Dahlia and Fel'rekt on the roof.
Yes.
Yeah,
Everywhere.
and-
just everywhere. Just fan out
Yeah.
of them everywhere.
Wait, and then you
Yes.
pan over to the next building, and Emmeline's trying to drag Edward up to that one. Not to be outdone.
Yeah.
See, that's romantic. I want that.
Give me
Here.
that.
Oh!
Sun setting.
To be fair,
Word of
Fel'rekt has probably had a few hundred more years than Edwin to perfect his romantic
No
abilities.
excuses. No excuses.
Edward's like, I don't do very well with heights, and then he pops a zit.
Oh, no, all the no's.
But why?
All right. On that note, thank you everyone for sticking around. We hope to see you back next week, and make sure to tune in to all the rest of our streams. And have a lovely evening.